Hey Spurs fans, welcome back to another update on our San Antonio Spurs. Before we jump into today's breaking news, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. And here's something special for you. Everyone who subscribes and leaves a comment with their name and the city they're watching for will automatically be entered into our giveaway to win an official San Antonio Spurs jersey. So don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and comment your name and city below. Stay tuned, because the next Spurs fan wearing the jersey could be you. The Spurs season has been defined by adaptation. Now Devin Vassal's recovery is approaching the moment where adaptation turns back into acceleration. After exiting in late December with an adductor issue, he has progressed from treatment to meaningful on-court work, and the organization is signaling that the next phase is about readiness, not uncertainty. That shift matters. It reframes his absence from a lingering question into a countdown. Coach Mitch Johnson's update, moving past medical minutiae and into sustained floor activity, suggests Vassal is clearing the checkpoints that precede game action. Controlled movement, progressive load, and repeatability without setbacks. In NBA terms, a good day is not a highlight, it's a pattern. The staff will look for consecutive sessions with rising intensity, clean next-day responses, and the confidence to layer in contact and pace. That is the bridge between practice and minutes that matter. While Vassal has been sidelined, San Antonio's offense has leaned into versatility. Julian Champagne's stretch as a starter has not been a placeholder. It has been a proof of concept. His scoring and rebounding surge opened spacing, stabilized defensive glass, and gave the coaching staff a lineup lever they did not fully possess before. The question now is not whether Champagne sits when Vassal returns. It is how the Spurs weaponize both wings to toggle between size, shooting, and switchability. Vassal's season averages, mid-teen scoring with balanced boards and assists, do not capture his value as a possession stabilizer. He screens, relocates, and punishes soft closeouts, which keeps the offense from tilting into predictable heliocentrism. His gravity is subtle. Defenders shade to his catch-and-shoot threat, which widens driving lanes and turns second-side actions into high-efficiency looks. That is the connective tissue San Antonio has missed in late-clock possessions. Expect the return to be staged. The Spurs typically deploy a minutes ramp that starts with short bursts, escalates through back-to-back practice days, and then expands role complexity. First spot up and transition, then more pick-and-roll reps, then defensive assignments against primary creators. The goal is not just availability. It is durability under playoff-level stress. A cautious build now is an aggressive bet on April and May. The rotation calculus will be fascinating. With Vassal back, San Antonio can run dual wing packages that pair him with Champagne to stretch defenses horizontally while keeping length on the floor. That unlocks five-out looks, inverted pick and rolls, and cross matches that force opponents to choose between surrendering corner threes or conceding drives. It also gives Coach Johnson the flexibility to tailor game plans. More pace against smaller teams, more switching against heavy pick-and-roll units. Defensively, Vassal's return restores a key perimeter organizer. He communicates early, funnels drivers into help, and contests without fouling. Habits that reduce scramble possessions and protect the defensive rebounding structure. With him back, San Antonio can toggle between drop, switch, and show and recover without sacrificing cohesion. That matters in playoff series where predictability is punished. There's a financial subplot worth watching, and it is not a crisis, it is a chessboard. As the Spurs navigate extensions, cap holds, and optionality, Vassal's contract becomes a lens on organizational priorities. Do they maximize continuity around their cornerstone, or do they preserve flexibility for opportunistic moves? The answer will not be binary. Expect scenario planning, retain core wings, explore value trades at the margins, and keep powder dry for a star-caliber fit that complements their timeline. The Vassal problem is better framed as a Vassal opportunity. His skill set, off-ball scoring, secondary creation, and defensive reliability, scales with star talent. Players who do not need the ball to impact winning are the ones who amplify a franchise centerpiece. If San Antonio is serious about contending, the calculus tilts toward keeping scalable pieces and trimming elsewhere. That is how sustainable contenders are built. From a competitive standpoint, the Spurs' recent record against top teams is not a fluke. It is a signal. They have shown they can win with different lineups, withstand injuries, and close tight games. Reintegrating Vassell adds another layer of lineup versatility and late-game shot-making. In a Western Conference defined by matchups, that flexibility is currency. The timeline is close enough to matter. Day-to-day status implies the team is monitoring responses rather than waiting on medical clearance. When he returns, expect a minutes restriction that rises quickly if his conditioning holds and the next-day markers stay clean. The organization will prioritize playoff readiness over regular season optics, short-term patience for long-term payoff. For fans, the takeaway is simple and compelling. The Spurs are building a system where individual returns do not just restore what was lost, they expand what is possible. Vassell's comeback is not a headline, it is a hinge. If he steps back into a role that balances spacing, defense, and late-clock poise, San Antonio's ceiling moves. Not because one player changes everything, but because the right player makes everything fit. The season's next chapter will test the thesis. Can the Spurs blend development with urgency, protect cap flexibility without sacrificing continuity, and turn health into momentum? With Vassell nearing the floor, they have the pieces to find out and the stakes to make every possession feel bigger than the box score. Before we go on, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Your support keeps our Spurs coverage strong and brings you the latest updates straight from San Antonio. And jump into the comments. Tell us what you think about today's news. The NBA world was left in awe as a breaking video announcement revealed what seemed almost unimaginable. NIKOLA JOKIĆ, the reigning superstar and centerpiece of the Denver Nuggets, has signed a 4-year deal to join the San Antonio Spurs. The footage, released by the Spurs official channels, captured the moment with cinematic flair, sparking immediate curiosity and disbelief among fans who could hardly believe their eyes. The video's dramatic tone, paired with Jokic's calm smile as he held up a Spurs jersey, set the stage for one of the most shocking developments in recent basketball history. The decision marks a seismic shift in the NBA landscape, as Jokic's move to San Antonio not only alters the balance of power in the Western Conference, but also redefines the Spurs' trajectory. For years, the franchise has been carefully rebuilding, nurturing young talent, and waiting for the right opportunity to re-emerge as a contender. With Jokic now in the fold, that opportunity has arrived in spectacular fashion, and the Spurs have instantly transformed from a promising project into a legitimate powerhouse. The video announcement cleverly withheld details, leaving fans desperate for more information. Clips of Jokic walking through the Spurs facilities, shaking hands with executives, and exchanging smiles with young players were interspersed with dramatic music and flashes of the team's championship banners. The production was designed to build suspense, and it succeeded brilliantly, ensuring that every viewer was left craving the full story behind the signing. Speculation immediately erupted about how the deal came together. Jokic, long considered the face of the Nuggets, had shown no public signs of discontent. Yet insiders now suggest that private negotiations have been underway for weeks, with San Antonio quietly positioning itself as the ideal destination. The Spurs' reputation for stability, their young core, and their vision for the future reportedly aligned perfectly with Jokic's desire to continue winning while shaping the next generation of stars. The 4-year contract itself is monumental, signaling Jokic's commitment to the Spurs project. Financial details remain undisclosed, but sources indicate that the deal ranks among the most lucrative in NBA history. More importantly, it represents a mutual pledge. Jokic entrusts his prime years to San Antonio, while the Spurs promise to build a roster capable of maximizing his talents and chasing championships. Fans in San Antonio erupted with joy as the news spread. Social media feeds filled with celebratory posts, memes, and videos of supporters donning Jokic's name on freshly printed jerseys. The city, long accustomed to basketball glory during the Duncan Ginobili Parker era, now finds itself on the cusp of another golden chapter. The excitement is palpable, and the anticipation of Jokic's debut in a Spurs uniform has already become the talk of the town. In Denver, the mood was understandably somber. Nuggets fans, who had cherished Jokic's brilliance and celebrated his MVP seasons, now face the painful reality of losing their franchise cornerstone. Tributes poured in, thanking Jokic for his contributions and expressing heartbreak at his departure. The Nuggets organization, meanwhile, must grapple with the daunting task of redefining itself without the player who had become synonymous with its identity. The Spurs' young roster stands to benefit enormously from Jokic's presence. His unique skill set, combining elite passing, scoring, and rebounding, will elevate the performance of teammates across the board. Rising stars will have the opportunity to learn directly from one of the game's greatest minds, while role players will thrive in the space and opportunities created by Jokic's versatility. The potential for growth is immense, and the Spurs locker room is buzzing with anticipation. Analysts have already begun dissecting the tactical implications of Jokic's arrival. His ability to orchestrate offense from the center position perfectly complements the Spurs system, which emphasizes ball movement and team play. The prospect of pairing Jokic with San Antonio's emerging talents has led some experts to predict that the Spurs could become one of the most dangerous teams in the league almost overnight. The video announcement also hinted at Jokic's excitement for the new chapter. Though he spoke only briefly, his words carried weight. "I'm ready for the challenge. San Antonio has a history of greatness, and I want to be part of building the future." The statement, delivered with Jokic's trademark humility, resonated deeply with fans and underscored his commitment to the Spurs' vision. Internationally, the news has reverberated across basketball communities. Jokic, a global icon from Serbia, has long been celebrated for his impact on the sport beyond the NBA. His move to San Antonio has sparked renewed interest in the franchise among international fans, many of whom see Jokic's journey as a source of inspiration. The Spurs' global brand, already strong, is poised to expand even further. The economic impact of the signing is already being felt. Ticket sales for Spurs games have surged, with fans eager to witness Jokic's debut. Merchandise sales are expected to skyrocket, and local businesses anticipate a boom in activity on game days. The franchise, long admired for its basketball culture, now finds itself at the center of a commercial renaissance fueled by Jokic's arrival. Former players and legends of the game have weighed in, offering perspectives that enrich the discourse. Some praise Jokic's courage in embracing a new challenge, while others express surprise at the Nuggets' inability to retain him. These voices, respected for their experience, highlight the complexity of the situation and the uncertainty that lies ahead. The Western Conference, already a battlefield of talent, now faces a new dynamic. Rivals must recalibrate their strategies, knowing that the Spurs have added a player capable of altering outcomes single-handedly. Coaches across the league will be forced to rethink matchups, aware that Jokic's presence changes the calculus in profound ways. Denver's future remains uncertain, but the Nuggets are expected to regroup by focusing on their remaining core and exploring new opportunities in the market. The loss of Jokic is undeniably devastating, but the organization has vowed to remain competitive. Fans, however, will need time to adjust to a reality without the player who defined their recent success. As the dust settles, fans are left with a mixture of anticipation and curiosity. How will Jokic reshape the Spurs? How will the team respond to his leadership? And what will this bold experiment mean for the future of the league? The answers will unfold in time, but for now, the intrigue is enough to keep the basketball world captivated. The announcement of NIKOLA JOKIĆ signing a 4-year deal with the San Antonio Spurs has continued to reverberate across the basketball world, with reactions pouring in from every corner of the globe. Analysts have described the move as a tectonic shift in the NBA landscape, emphasizing how rare it is for a reigning superstar to leave his established team for a franchise in the midst of rebuilding. The sheer magnitude of the decision has ensured that the story remains front and center, dominating sports coverage and sparking endless debates about its implications. In Denver, the emotional fallout has been profound. Nuggets fans, who had embraced Jokic as the face of their franchise and celebrated his MVP seasons, now find themselves grappling with a sense of loss that goes beyond basketball. Local media outlets have published heartfelt tributes, recounting Jokic's journey from a second-round draft pick to one of the most dominant players in the league. The departure has left a void not only in the team's roster, but also in the city's identity, as Jokic had become a symbol of resilience and pride. San Antonio, by contrast, has erupted in celebration. The city's streets have been filled with fans sporting Jokic jerseys, and the atmosphere around the team has transformed overnight. For years, Spurs supporters had patiently endured the ups and downs of a rebuilding process, waiting for the moment when their franchise would reclaim its place among the elite. Jokic's arrival has reignited that hope, creating a surge of optimism that has spilled over into every aspect of the community. The economic impact of the signing has been immediate and dramatic. Ticket sales for Spurs games have skyrocketed, with fans eager to witness Jokic's debut in person. Merchandise sales have surged as well, with Jokic's name and number quickly becoming bestsellers. Local businesses are anticipating a boom in activity on game days, as the excitement surrounding the team translates into increased foot traffic and revenue. The Spurs, long admired for their basketball culture, now find themselves at the center of a commercial renaissance. Internationally, the news has resonated with fans far beyond the United States. Jokic, a global icon from Serbia, has long been celebrated for his impact on the sport worldwide. His move to San Antonio has sparked renewed interest in the franchise among international audiences, many of whom see Jokic's journey as a source of inspiration. The Spurs' global brand, already strong, is poised to expand even further as Jokic's presence draws new fans from across Europe and beyond. Within the NBA, rival franchises are recalibrating their strategies in response to the Spurs' bold move. Coaches and players alike recognize that Jokic's arrival fundamentally alters the balance of power in the Western Conference. Game plans that once focused on containing San Antonio's young core must now account for the presence of a superstar capable of orchestrating offense and dominating in the paint. The ripple effect is undeniable, forcing teams to rethink their approach to matchups and competition. Media coverage has been relentless, with talk shows, podcasts, and news outlets dedicating entire segments to analyzing the implications of the signing. Some analysts have praised the Spurs for their boldness, arguing that Jokic's arrival could accelerate their return to contention. Others have questioned the wisdom of investing so heavily in one player, warning that the move could backfire if chemistry falters. The debate has been fierce, underscoring the polarizing nature of the decision and the uncertainty that surrounds its outcome. Former players and legends of the game have weighed in, offering perspectives that enrich the discourse. Some have praised Jokic's courage in embracing a new challenge, while others have expressed surprise at the Nuggets' inability to retain him. These voices, respected for their experience, highlight the complexity of the situation and the uncertainty that lies ahead. Their commentary has added gravitas to the conversation, reminding fans that the story is not just about one player or one team, but about the evolving dynamics of the league itself. Inside the Spurs locker room, the mood is one of cautious optimism. Players are energized by the prospect of working alongside Jokic, whose reputation for empowering teammates and fostering growth precedes him. At the same time, the arrival of such a high-profile figure introduces new pressures and expectations. The balance between enthusiasm and adjustment will define the early stages of Jokic's tenure, as the team works to integrate his talents into its system. Ultimately, the repercussions of Jokic's move extend far beyond the Spurs' immediate fortunes. They touch on themes of loyalty, ambition, and the unpredictable nature of professional sports. Fans are reminded that the NBA is as much about drama and narrative as it is about competition, and that in a single announcement, the trajectory of franchises, careers, and communities can be forever altered. The intrigue surrounding Jokic's signing ensures that the story will continue to captivate audiences, shaping the conversation for months and perhaps years to come. That's it for today's update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of every exclusive San Antonio Spurs news drop, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. And don't forget, your opinion matters to Spurs Nation. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.